This man, his name is Pierre Gabriel Ludovich Francois. And I don't really care if that's how you pronounce it correctly or not. I don't really care. He's 29 years old, and he was arrested Saturday of 3 counts. 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, according to the Broward Sheriff's Office arrest report. Hashtag not my words. Okay? So for everybody to say I don't give my information right and eyes don't know what I was talking about, DJ, I'm getting what the news is getting, and the news is getting what the police and courts are putting out there. So go argue with them and stop emailing me arguing about my alleged misinformation. Okay? This violent incident unfolded at the family's Fort Lauderdale home in Florida on Saturday. So Florida, y'all got to take an L today. Another one. Another one. Okay? The woman and the child, whose identities have not been released yet, so I'm not going to put them out there, are being treated at Broward Health Medical Center, where they both were intubated and unresponsive, the report stated. I don't even know if intubated is a word. I've never even heard of that. Anyway, the infant baby was found face down on the front lawn in the front yard after reportedly being thrown out of a window from the family's 1-story home by that man. We have another story of a baby being thrown out of a window, and I don't understand how people can be that callous, that careless, that I don't know what's going on in their minds. And it's really hard to kind of judge people on their looks, but I don't know. Like I guess he don't look like an insane person, but this dude has clearly got issues. But I got more details that I'm gonna let y'all know here in a moment. The baby was found face down in the front lawn. And it's just like, I don't understand how people can have such a disregard for not only human life, but for a baby. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Sergeant Don Pritchard of the sheriff's office said that the child remains in critical condition. So as of right now, the child is still alive, which is why they've withheld the identities. Now, the infant suffers from what appears to be a skull fracture, as well as it appears that this baby's nose was bitten off. According to the police. Yes, y'all heard that right. I'm going to read it again because I need to make sure and drive the point home. They are saying that this man not only threw the baby out the window, attempting to kill it, because that's the only reason you could be throwing a baby out of a window, but he took the baby's face and placed the baby's face inside of his mouth and clamped down with his teeth and bit the nose of the baby off. Do y'all hear me? It's absolutely just, and y'all can see this is some of the crime footage. Not crime footage, but I guess you could say crime footage, whatever it is, as far as like it looks like blood splatter on the window with a broken glass. Oh. This was a very gruesome scene that deputies encountered, and it was caused by a family member. Francois' mother told investigators that she was asleep in her room when her son entered and began acting like he was mad and began punching the walls and the doors inside the residence. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's back that up like a U-Haul truck and let's examine that sentence one more again. The individual who's been accused of doing this, his mama, told investigators that she was asleep in her room when her son entered her room, and he began acting like he was mad and began punching the walls and the doors inside the residence. So what does that sound like? It sounded like he lives there. Sounded like he lives with his mom. Now, if one of the family members want to correct me on that, then you can correct me, but that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he lives here. The mother said Francois started to hit her with a 2x4. Why would he do that? The mom said this idiot took a 2x4 piece of wood and started to beat her with it, and said that he was screaming for her to stop hurting. The mother said Francois started to hit her with a 2x4 and said he was screaming for her to stop hurting his mother while she was attempting to tell him that she is his mother. Oh my. I got confused trying to read that. Let me read that again. The man was screaming, "Stop hurting my mother," but she was attempting to tell him that she is his mother. That's why I got confused trying to read that. It threw me off. That dude was beating her and asking her what she did with his mother, even though she is his mother. Pierre Francois told his mother, who kept slipping in her own blood, to stay put, according to the affidavit. Francois's mother said that he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and was not taking his medication. So here it is, yet another story where we're going to blame it on the fact that you know that somebody has had a long time issue. They were supposed to be on medication. They didn't take their medication. And now they done went insane in the membrane like Cypress Hill. Huh? Here's where some of you guys might get upset with me. So I want to brace you and preface this by saying, I've talked about this before, and I've always said, if a person presents a danger to you or your kids, then you should not be around that person. I don't care what their situation is. You need to get them up out your house if they need to be locked up in an insane asylum or whatever it is, but you can't have them around your kids. Because babies and children cannot speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. This dude is a grown-ass man, and he is 29 years old. And y'all got this wild individual right here just roaming around your house. Like I said, it's kind of like you went to the zoo and picked up one of them thug lions and brought it to your house and thought that y'all could coexist with the thug lion inside your house. And you found out that that's not the case. But let me keep going. According to his mother, Francois then moved to another room and started hitting the infant girl and the infant girl's mother. I don't know if all these people live together, but it sounds like they all live together. I don't know. Matter of fact, let me say this. Let me say that's a little bit weird. He went in there and they said that he was hollering and screaming. How did the mother and the mother who was watching the baby, how did they not hear all of that stuff going on? And why didn't they try to run to safety? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the details. Maybe he was beating her. Maybe he was beating his mom gently and beat her to a bloody pulp to the point to where nobody heard it, I guess. I mean, y'all see, it's a really big house. It's a huge 3-4 story house, 6-7 bedrooms. Maybe they just didn't hear it. That's a picture of the house right there. Y'all can see that. It's a huge, huge house. Lots of square footage. It's on acres and acres of land. Maybe nobody heard nothing. He went into the room with the mother and the little girl and began hitting them, and they yelled out, "Don't hit us," before there was silence. At one point, Francois was seen throwing the child out of the window in the front of the home. Francois's mother was able to run to a neighbor for help. Deputies responded to the home. When they arrived, police found the infant face down in the front yard. Francois, of course, because he's a little pussy, he took off running, but was taken into custody a short time later, according to the report. Inside the home, the police found the child's mother with a laceration to her throat and multiple lacerations to her face. Damn. And she was also rushed to the hospital, the report said. They also found the knife just inside the front door. At the hospital, a doctor treating the infant baby said that the infant baby is on life support with a traumatic brain injury and a possible brain bleed. The infant's mother was also intubated and unresponsive with a large laceration on her neck and bandages on her face. A nurse treating her said she had a laceration to her trachea and a laceration to her liver. Ooh, sheesh. That hurts just reading that. Multiple lacerations to her face, and even worse, or just as bad, she had stab wounds in her eyes. This man stabbed her in the eyeballs. And I know that's hard for y'all to hear that. And I know some of y'all might not be able to deal with that. But I'm telling you, there is nothing worse than what these babies and these people actually had to go through. And I feel like we could at least do them some justice and at least hear their story. Okay? That's all I'm asking. At least listen to what their story is, because what they went through is like going through hell, literally. This man stabbed her in the eyeballs. That is a hateful son of a bitch. That is a lot of hate. And I'm not going to sit there and blame it on no medication. And I've told y'all, I do not believe in blaming and giving people excuses for any reason. I don't care if it's medication. I don't care if these people have had long-going issues. I don't care if it's post-slavery traumatic stress syndrome. I don't give a damn what it is. But what I can tell you is that in this news article, it said that this man stabbed his girlfriend. I'm going to say that again. It says this man stabbed his girlfriend. So what that means is that they've always known that this man had issues. Whether this is his child or not, I don't think it matters. What does matter is the fact that this mom allowed this man to be around her child, which is a big red flag in itself. And let me say what's up to MT GVTV. Make sure y'all check them out on YouTube. Not only is that a problem, but it makes it even worse if she had sex with this dude and made a kid by him. So if it was his daughter, then that makes it even worse. Because that means you procreated with a crazy man. Huh? And at what point? And I'm not saying that the mom is a bad person or nothing like that. Don't get it twisted, Florida. Because I don't want y'all coming for me like they like to say. But we've talked about this for so long, and you can't sit there and act like my words aren't relevant. Y'all continue to keep dating these crazy ass dudes like it's nobody else around that you can date. And that's why I said maybe he must be just super sexy to this woman. This dude must be hella attractive, or maybe she couldn't get no other man. Because if that's not the case, if she could have got another man or any other man, then I think that you should have chose better. You would have done better, and maybe nobody's life would have been in danger, because this man actually tried to murder everybody in the house, including that poor innocent baby. So please understand that. This is about to get a little bit worse with the details. Let me tell y'all a little bit more. The nurse said that the mother is going to be blind as a result of being stabbed in the eyeballs. Francois's mother had a dislocated thumb and lacerations on her forearms. Francois was hospitalized before he was arrested and booked into jail, where he remains held with no bond. So he got zero bond. Attorney information was not available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the fair usage. I don't know if they found the little baby's nose or not. Like I said, they did not release a lot of information, which is why a lot of times, unless we have more information, I might not be able to report on certain stories. But this one, y'all, I just had to tell y'all about this one. Let me give you the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Eye for an eye. Yes, I believe that man should have to give up his eyes to that mother. Anyway, let me let y'all listen to the news stories.
Calls after chilling crime in Fort Lauderdale.
We told you about this noon yesterday. A young father accused of throwing his baby out of a window, brutally attacking his girlfriend as well as his own mother. Local 10 News.
Okay, there you go. They just referred to this man which makes this even worse. They said that this man is the father of that kid. So that means that the mother got in a relationship with this crazy man, had a kid by this crazy man, and kept this crazy man around her kid, knowing that his mama and everybody else been telling this girl that this man is crazy all this time. But yet this dude is crazy. He ain't nothing, ain't got a job. He ain't nobody. He's worth nothing, but yet he's getting all the sex he could stand in order enough to make enough to make a kid. Isn't that crazy? How the bottom feeders in our society can get as much sex as they want to from these ladies? Don't get mad that I said that. It's the truth. Let's go.
Calls after chilling crime in Fort Lauderdale.
We told you about this noon yesterday. A young father accused of throwing his baby out of a window, brutally attacking his girlfriend as well as his own mother. Local 10 News reporter Snella Savovic is live with this update. And yeah, this story you brought us yesterday, it makes your blood go cold.
Christy and Janice, the details of this story are just gruesome and chilling. And today, for the first time, we are hearing those frantic 911 calls for help. One of the victims, who is the suspect's own mother, tells police as she was getting beaten by her son, she managed to escape from the family home, run to a neighbor's house for help, and you hear her on this 911 call for help. Take a listen.
It's a baby inside the home, man. The baby been hurt. I heard the girl say, "Don't hit the baby, don't hit me." That's what he was doing. I got up.
What did he do with the baby?
Get up, ma'am.
What did he do with the baby?
She heard her daughter. He's schizophrenic. He hit the daughter-in-law said, "Don't hit the baby, don't hit her." But he has beaten his mom. She's laying in front of my home bleeding.
And this is the man deputies say is responsible for attacking his own mother, girlfriend, and one-year-old daughter, 29-year-old Pierre Francois. And according to an arrest report, the horror unfolded at the family's home along Northwest 27th Lane near Fort Lauderdale. Francois' mother told deputies that her son suffers from schizophrenia and wasn't taking his medication, and he was suffering from some sort of episode that he started beating her. She then ran again to a neighbor's house for help, and investigators say during that time period, Francois also bit his baby's nose off before tossing the child out of a window. The baby sustained traumatic brain injuries.
Y'all hear this? Y'all hear how insane this sounds?
Suffering from some sort of episode that he started beating her. She then ran again to a neighbor's house for help, and investigators say during that time period, Francois also bit his baby's nose off before tossing the child out of a window. The baby sustained traumatic brain injuries, and that's not all. They say that he also stabbed his girlfriend in the face and eyes, leaving her blind. And when deputies arrived to the scene to arrest Francois, they say he resisted.
The taser was used, and a brief foot pursuit occurred where he was taken into custody without further incident.
And both mom and baby are at Broward Health Medical Center right now. Again, the mom is blind. The baby sustained traumatic brain injuries. She is currently in critical condition. Francois remains locked up, and a Broward County judge ordered that he undergo a mental health evaluation. That's the latest here from Miami Gardens. Sinella Sabovic, Local 10 News.
A father's facing charges today accused of the unthinkable.
Yeah, police say he stabbed the mother of his child and then threw that 1-year-old out a window. Local 10 News reporter Sinella Sabovic is live with really disturbing details on this one. This one's even hard to talk about, Sinella.
This is a gruesome story, Christy and Janice, and you just mentioned some of the things that he is accused of. Again, beating his own mother, allegedly stabbing his girlfriend in the eyes, potentially leaving her blinded for life, and then tossing his 1-year-old infant daughter from a window of that home that you see directly behind me. Pierre Francois is behind bars, facing 3 attempted felony murder charges, accused of doing the unthinkable. According to an arrest form, Francois' mother told BSO deputies that her son, who suffers from schizophrenia, had an episode and started beating her. She then saw Francois throw his 1-year-old daughter from a first-floor front window. Evidence markers lined the broken windows with blood underneath it. Deputies say the woman then ran to a neighbor's home for help. That neighbor immediately called police. When deputies arrived at the family's home on Northwest 27th Lane, they made 2 gruesome discoveries. First, the infant girl lying face down in the front yard, and inside, the mother of Francois' child found with stab wounds to her face and eyes. They were both raced to Broward Health Medical Center with life-threatening injuries.
You're Gabriel Francois. You're charged with 4 counts. Attempted murder.
Francois faced a Broward County judge on Monday, where a prosecutor detailed the injuries the victim sustained.
This will result in the victim being blind in both eyes. The injuries that the infant suffered is a traumatic brain injury and a potential possible brain bleed.
And the neighbor who called for help did not want to speak on camera, but she says she was just thankful she was here to call police. Francois has a $550,000 bond. A judge asked that he undergo a mental health evaluation, and he was also ordered to stay away from the victims. That's the latest here out of Fort Lauderdale. Sinella Sabovic, Local 10 News.
I still think that this story is a little bit weird, and I know that people say I shouldn't be victim blaming. But what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying my best to do, is educate people who have a little bit of common sense left, and make sure that we know that we need to value our women more. We need to value our bodies more. We need to value our relationships more. We need to value our children more. Because I'm going to tell you, clearly nobody in this house valued themselves by living around this dude. And I'm assuming that he was living there, because I'm assuming if he's got all these mental issues, that he probably didn't have a lot of options of places to go. Okay? They allowed him to be around. This dude was not taking no medication. And matter of fact, even if he is taking medication, why would you want to make a kid by this dude? Like, that don't make sense. It's just kind of like I say, like, if you want to go to the thug zoo and go play with the thug lions and stick your hand in the lion cage by yourself, then I understand. Y'all grown. You do what you want to do. But when children are involved, you can't produce kids, and nor did you have to, because women have the right to guard their womb. No man can do what a woman won't allow that man to do. So with that being said, her having a baby by this dude was a choice of her own, and she probably should not have had a kid by this crazy ass fool. Am I wrong for saying that? I think that's a very basic statement. I think most people can understand where I'm coming from without getting a freaking attitude about it. Okay? Now, what happened to the mother and the grandmother and the baby is messed up in itself. But again, you're talking about a ticking time bomb that finally one day just exploded in your house. But that's why I don't believe in having a powder keg in my house. That's why I don't believe in carrying dynamite inside my house. You understand where I'm coming from? We have to start thinking smarter and better. And I'm hoping that people will start to use these stories as cautionary tales. Because there are people out there that are listening to my videos, that have watched my videos, that are still staying in the situations that they're in, or they're getting ready to meet somebody and they're getting ready to put themselves in those situations. And all my show does is give you yellow and red flags. My show is an educational show in order to educate you about what scenarios to look for, do a background check, do some research. You need to really know who you're dealing with before you start to make kids by these folks. But, and guess, he bit the child's nose off. I don't know if he was smoking on what Mike Tyson was smoking on when he was fighting Evander Holyfield. But nonetheless, I'm going to say this. That dude don't need to be in our world anymore. He don't need to be in society anymore. I say lock him up, throw away the key. There are just some people that we need to just cleanse our society of. And that dude, Pierre Francois, is one of them. Forget about him. Don't defend him. Don't let him out of jail. Don't pardon him. Don't let him out for COVID. Don't let him out for any reason. He's a danger to everybody and himself. Give him life in prison. Let us put a prayer hands up. And again, let me say this again. Please put a prayer hands up in the chat for that baby. That baby might be able to survive. It's not likely because of the extent of the injuries, but let's at least hope and wish and pray that that baby makes it and pulls through. Because I would love to see this baby grow up and become something great. So let's put a prayer hands up for that baby, okay? This is your boy DJ Just Jay with the AFC. If you have not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up because we need your help and support to share stories like this so you can help save a life. If you see something, say something. But there's going to be a special place in hell for that dude, Pierre Francois, or whatever his damn name is. It's a stupid name. He's a stupid person.